Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, the Knife Raven here, back again with another video. And in today's video, yes, I actually remembered, I'm doing 3 for Thursday. This is a sequel to the 2 for Tuesday I did, well, last Tuesday. And today, I'll be showcasing 3 blue knives. Now, blue's a color that I actually quite like. Now, I'm pretty particular when it comes to more of the traditional colors. And I'm very much a heavy fan of the very deep tones such as browns and blacks and dark purples and greens. But at the same time, a good blue is very appealing to my eye, as you would expect. And today I get a chance to showcase 3 of them. So starting here, we have a Victorinox. I know it's been a very long time since I've talked about Victorinox. Also, for the occasion, I'm wearing blue, so I think that adds to it a little. But nonetheless, this is the Victorinox Classic Great Pyramids Limited Edition. Now, this is part of the limited yearly release. I forget which year this was. I think it was... Let's see if it says. It may have been 2020, although don't quote me on that. I'm going to have to check that later, but nonetheless, this was a yearly release, and I found it. This was my very first purchase at Warriors and Wonders, which is still something that I always remember. And very inexpensive when I got it. It was on sale, and again, very detailed little knife, but it has all the features of the Victorinox Classic that you would expect. A little spear point / pen blade, Victorinox Swiss-made stainless. Very nice for very little cutting tasks. You have the nail file with the little screwdriver. And of course, the oh-so-useful mini scissors. As for the handle attachments, you have the tweezers and the toothpick. These, of course, are stored in this little handy compartment. And there's another one on the other side. So as for the detailing here, we have the Victorinox shield. We have a design that appears to be a collection of stars. We have the full moon and, well, pyramids with a lone camel rider. Pardon me, not a lone camel rider. There's actually a second, I believe there's a second one. These are just camels. There's no one atop them. They're very hard to see here, but here and here. And then on the other side, again, this is a very dark knife. It's a little hard to see. You have a different picture with moon and stars. You have a lone figure standing atop what appears to be a hill. And Great Pyramids of Giza. This is definitely one of those knives that I don't really carry just because, to me, it's very much a collectible. I wouldn't call it a grail knife, but it's certainly one of my favorite Victorinox knives. And again, the art is absolutely beautiful. I think that it's just a beautiful set of deep blues and blacks contrasted with the white from the shield and the glow of the moon with the stars. So to me, this is a wonderful design, and I very much enjoy it. So that's the first of my 3. It's easily the cheapest too, followed by the mid-range one, which is the Rough Rider Once in a Blue Moon Trapper. This is a knife I've wanted to re-review for a long time. It's actually a very nice Rough Rider. Probably not a very commonly spoken of one, but nickel-silver bolsters, brass liners and pins, nickel-silver crescent moon shield, stainless springs, and 2 stainless steel blades with odd spring cutoff and a little bit of off-centering on this one. Match strike pulls, no half stops. First is a clip point blade featuring a frosted etch, and it says "Once in a Blue Moon" with a little boy on the moon. It appears to be a comet. Very nice little embellishments in this. Here you've got the RR Rough Rider logo. And on this side, it has the model number. This is the RR1194. It's, of course, made in China, and 440 razor sharp steel. The other blade is a spade blade. There's no frosted etch, just a classic mirror polish. Again, you have the spade design. Certainly not my favorite blade shape, partially for the history of what it was used for, and also just the fact that it's not a very attractive blade to me. That's just personal preference. I far prefer the clip point, or say a Wharncliffe. But still an interesting pattern. This is probably my only full-size trapper knife. Again, RR, Rough Rider, and then nothing on the back. So yeah, twin blades. I think they're over 3 inches each. These are large blades, large knife, large handle, easy 4-finger grip. Very comfortable. But yeah, it's a trapper pattern with this beautiful bone dyed blue. It's very deep blue, again, my favorite. Absolutely wonderful. Again, you got the cut bolsters too, which is pretty. A little bit of gapping, but nothing too severe. And the spring tension on these is quite nice. But yeah, just a very nice example of a Rough Rider. I really like the moon theme going on here. I'm certainly no expert in it, but I do quite fancy the sun, moon, and stars, astronomy, astrology to a slightly lesser degree. I just very much enjoy the cosmos and the galaxy, and really how big of a part it plays in the overall existence of the universe. And just finding a knife that showcases something within that realm is something that interested me. So for about $30 Canadian, maybe less, I figured it was absolutely worth it. And even though I don't carry this knife very much, I carry it, well, once in a blue moon, it certainly is a good carry choice if you're interested in a trapper pattern for a good price with fairly reasonable quality. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful bone handles. I really like the color. And finally, my favorite of the three. This is the Case Seahorse Whittler in blue denim bone with the peach seed jigging pattern. This is a traditional whittler pattern. Nickel silver bolsters, brass liners, stainless springs, brass pins, the nickel silver Case XX bomb shield. Transitions are flawless, pins are smooth, shield is well done, the jigging looks great, very well dyed. Almost, again, it looks black at first, but this is just a very deep blue. Again, natural bone. Very, very pretty. Nice texture to it. This was a smooth bone, whereas this is jigged. I like them both equally in their own respect. We've got, appears to be not a copperhead shape, but certainly it does what the copperhead would, in the sense that the blade will not catch on your pocket when you are opening it. Well, pardon me, taking it out of your pocket to open it. You've got the main Wharncliffe blade with a very nice, probably 6 or 7 pull. Mirror polish. Case is true sharp surgical stainless steel. I put an edge on it, a little bit of a sharpening. The factory edge wasn't terribly good. Now it cuts with still a little difficulty. It's certainly not the sharpest knife I own, but it is much nicer than when it first arrived, at which point it was very, very, I wouldn't say blunt, but definitely not usable in its current state. This was a 2020 release, as referenced by the logo. USA 63355WH, which I presume means Whittler. SS for stainless steel. And again, I just love the Wharncliffe profile that this blade has. Very nice, comfortable knife for carving. No gapping in this model, no blade play. The only real issue is the springs are slightly proud, but very insignificant complaint overall. The other two blades, which are a coping, which is a small sheep's foot, which almost could pass as a lamb foot, although not pointy enough. Also mirror polished SS for stainless steel. Got a little bit of a swedge on one side. And a pen blade, which is a small spear point. This has the XX on it. And again, in the traditional mirror polish with a bit of a half swedge on one side. So yeah, I don't normally like multi-bladed knives, but I quite like this pattern. I'm still looking out for the GEC version, the 38 English Whittler. And I still really like this knife. It's one of my favorite carries. I was actually using this knife earlier today. Certainly not a professional whittling knife. I have heard from some experienced whittlers. I'm not a particularly good one myself. And the geometry of the main blade is a little bit too thick for a normal carving knife, and the smaller blades are, well, far too thin. So really the thickness of the blades is kind of a deal breaker. I'm sure you could do some very light carving with it, but certainly it's not going to be a great choice overall. Probably something even like this would be better, as the blade stock isn't as thick as the main blade, but it's thicker than the secondary blades. So yeah, that's my 3 for Thursday. I hope you enjoyed. I really like all three of these knives. This one probably the most as a collector's piece. This one probably as a using knife, even though I still prefer the style of this one. And this one probably just as a souvenir item. And really, even though I say this is the most collectible one to me, this is the safe queen of the three. I use this one the least. Just kind of keep it in its little box. Just as, you know, my very first purchase from one of my favorite knife stores, and a limited edition knife that isn't being made anymore, at least in this style. So, there are my three. The Victorinox Classic SD Great Pyramids, the Rough Rider Once in a Blue Moon Trapper, and the Case Seahorse Whittler in Blue Denim Bone. Thank you very much for watching. Hoping to get another video out maybe tomorrow, but in the meantime, this may be it for today. So thank you very much. This has been 3 for Thursday, and this is the Knife Raven, as always, signing off. Goodbye.